Don't ever make the mistake of thinking that the people in D.C. are serious. Just because they wear the suits and there's the big fancy buildings and everything looks official, they're a bunch of total morons, okay? This is a great example of it here. So, Ben Shapiro comes to testify in front of a congressional committee. Like, what? Just that alone is, I could end this story here and be like, we live in hell. But credit to, of course, God bless the Code Pink people. They really are doing the Lord's work here. One of them confronts Ben Shapiro to his face, and they get into kind of a screaming match. Watch this, and then we'll break it down.
How does it feel for you to poison the American public and what you've been perpetuating? Racism, white supremacy, and the genocide that is being carried out on the Palestinian people.
And how does it feel to stand for Hamas? Does that feel good to you? Do you feel good standing in solidarity with a terrorist group that has murdered 1,200?
I feel very good.
Literally, this is all they have. Actually, they have two arguments. Number one, what he just did, you love Hamas. Number two, you're an anti-Semite. That's all he has. It doesn't matter how specific you are in your criticism. You could literally just go to a page that has nothing but statistics on the devastation in Gaza. You could talk about the Lancet report that just came out. 186,000 Palestinians dead, according to the Lancet. You could point 31 hospitals bombed. You could point to objective facts about reality that are bad things and say, look, I'm against this. And he would say, you love Hamas and you're an anti-Semite. That's all he has. That's all they have. Guys, you have to try harder. You're not convincing anybody anymore. You're clowns. Nobody takes you seriously.
Solidarity with Palestinian people who have been murdered by Israel, by U.S. paid tax dollars and bombs, and you have continued to spew hate.
Hamas should not start a war on behalf of its citizens and then shoot its own citizens, and you stand for it, makes you a disgrace
the people
to human
in
dignity
Palestine
and
have
human
been occupied for 75 years, and the blood is on the hands of every person in this Congress and every person who watches your propaganda of hate, white supremacy, and racism. You have been poisoning the American public for them to also be complicit in what is going on in Palestine. Shame on you and shame on every one of you who have invited them into this building.
God bless this woman. I will add one thing. She forgot one part of going after Ben Shapiro. You forgot to mention that he is 11 out of 10 times he is with the oligarchs and the plutocrats and the kleptocrats and the robber barons and the billionaires, that he has never sided against big money interests. He is always against working people, always. So let's not forget that part of his show too. Let's not forget how he sucks off power on a daily basis. And he's all about moneyed interests. He thinks they're the philosopher kings. They should run the country. He doesn't like worker power. He doesn't like unions. He doesn't like democracy. He doesn't like any of these things. So let's not forget that part too. So agree with all that, but let's not forget that part as well. So again, Code Pink always doing the Lord's work. They're amazing. By the way, they're planning for a massive protest when Benjamin Netanyahu comes to speak at Congress, which I love. That's the second I saw Netanyahu was officially coming to speak to Congress, the immediate thought I had was, I hope he literally can't even get his car to the building. I hope the roads are all blocked and he can't get near it, because that son of a bitch war criminal deserves to be rotting in a prison cell, and instead he's going to get a hero's welcome and he's going to get to spew anti-Palestinian trash in front of the whole country. By the way, do I think this is going to help Netanyahu in terms of like getting support from the American people for his war? Hell no. Hell no. Okay, so we're not done though. So that's the clip I wanted to show you of the confrontation. But then we also have this, man. This is embarrassing. This is so embarrassing, bro. So Jim Jordan, the Republican, is literally, this is a correct representation here. Jim Jordan is going to act like Ben Shapiro's ad sales team.
So Patel, Unilever ever advertised on the Daily Wire? Have you guys ever advertised there?
Not sure if we've ever advertised. No, don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, Mr. Julian, the companies you represent ever advertise on the Daily Wire?
Not that I know of, but if they wanted to, we would happily do it.
If they wanted to, but you don't know that any of them have. Yeah. Is it like I think, what did he just say, 50 million viewers over the past 90 days? What did Mr. Nadler say at the front end? He said like 13 million followers that they have. I mean, there's a real audience there. What would you say your target group is, 18 to 48-year-old women, Mr. Patel?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mr. Shapiro, you got any 18 to 48-year-old women who, of those 50 million people watching your stuff, or those 13 million followers, any of them 18 to 48-year-old women?
Again, according to our latest statistics, about 65% of my listeners are between ages 18 and 44, and about a quarter of them are women.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big number. I mean, you guys advertise, any of the companies you represent, Mr. Joe, advertise at, say, the Washington Post.
Yes.
Do you advertise on The View?
Yes.
Mr. Patel? Same question?
We tend to invest less than 1% on any news.
That wasn't the question. Do you advertise on The View? Do you advertise on Washington Post? Any left-leaning program or platforms out there? Do you advertise there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you do advertise there, but you got a huge market here you don't.
He's begging big money interests, heads of giant corporations, give Ben Shapiro money. Please give him more money. He wants your money. Give him the money. Give him the money. Advertise with him. Make him more rich. Make him more wealthy. Make him more able to spew his brazen, disgusting propaganda all across this country. Why won't you pay him? Pay him more money. By the way, never in a million years should you ever accept it when somebody tells you, the Daily Wire is independent media. Does this look like fucking independent media to you? Being called into Congress to propagandize and having CEOs chastised and basically ordered by a congressman to give you more money? Can you imagine a scenario where I'm sitting there and a Democratic congressman is scolding tech CEOs to cut me a check? I would never humiliate and embarrass myself and drag myself down to that level. You want to know why? Because my job on this show is to actually give my takes and oppose power. Call out the bullshit. Tell the truth. If you're going to fucking cocktail parties with Jim Jordan and Republican committeemen, are you really, doing your job properly? No. You're a rank propagandist is what you are, Ben. And how mighty convenient that at this fucking committee hearing, CEOs are being lectured to give Ben Shapiro money. By the way, I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's independently wealthy. I know the Daily Wire is flush with cash. They're doing just fine. But what the Republican Congress people want is to make outlets like the Daily Wire the biggest one in the country. They want everybody to believe their bullshit, to believe their propaganda, to believe the lies, to believe that robber barons and billionaires are actually heroes and corporations are wonderful and unions are evil and working people are lazy and all. This is what we're looking at here. How pathetic. Guys, our country right now is doing a genocide. We are arming and funding Netanyahu as he does a genocide. 186th Palestinians killed. That's not just a number. Those are people. Those are human beings who have been murdered on purpose. And what is our government doing? This. Trying to shake down companies, chastising the CEOs to pay more money to the chief pro-genocide propagandist in the country. I need to take a fucking shower after watching this. Jesus Christ. I got nothing else to say. I think this speaks for itself. All right, guys. I love y'all very much. You know the drill. Everybody, please click subscribe. I appreciate that deeply. You can also click like, leave a comment, click that bell icon so you get a notification when things drop. By the way, we have Jeremy Scahill coming on Crystal Kyle and Friends this week. You're not going to want to miss that. Sign up below for that. Also, so I can get ahead of Ken Klimenstein again, you got to sign up below on Substack. I deeply, deeply appreciate it if you do that. Jeremy Scahill actually interviewed top Hamas officials, and I am really curious to dive into what he discovered. So we'll talk about that, or we'll talk to him about that, and then that's all. That's all I got for you, man. I love you guys all very much. Thanks again for supporting the show on Patreon or tipping on YouTube. I never talk to advertisers, so you guys really make this show run, and I'm very thankful for it every day. All right, guys, I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.